Alright folks, welcome back. It is day 103 with Duolingo Chinese. 欢迎大家好. Welcome. We kind of extended our review yesterday. So, we have 2 days left. We're going to try to get another 4 units of practice. And see if we can cover 14 units total in our review 2 days from now. Or I guess now, including today, 2 days from now. So we did our 14 through 18. And now let's take a look at Unit 19. Locations. Oh. This one had a weird thing. So let's try a different approach here. So, 脚. Alright, 脚. To look for 脚. 桌子. Oh, there. Unknown. Oh, eats. Way. That's both a counter. It's largely using as a counter, but also 定位. I'll go into position in a bit. Done. So done. My done. You're Brazilian and you're using Google Translate to write? Oh yeah, no worries. Welcome. Are you interested in Chinese or Japanese? My done. And hi done. Okay. Oh, you don't know what I said? That's okay. I suppose that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. What is this? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, 进. 请进. Where's 请?
请进.
Okay. 请进. I have no idea what that means. Hmm. Oh. Football. No? No football? Maybe? Probably football. I don't know. It looks like they're playing right now, huh? Okay. So, Y, Xiang, Xia. We have 3 positions. Is there anything else? No. So Y, Xiang, Xia. Xia, Han. Maybe Han, Taidan. 英文 Taidan. Right. Ian. Why is Jian in here? Jian. Wait, Jian. Okay. Wait, Jian. Okay. I can see doing something with that. Bing. Oh, 冰箱. Probably 冰箱. Yep, 冰箱. Box. 冰箱. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Pick one. I don't watch football. Especially international football. Li. Yeah, 房间. Maybe 房间里. 房间里.服务员. Oh, okay. 服务员. 电菜 probably. 电菜. 4. Oh, 4 for time 一次. 这是这是我买单 probably. 这是我买单.在家 no 在这里. That's a bit of a stretch. 在这里。and 不想 probably 不太 really no 不想 okay. What the heck was E? What is E for? I know you're Brazilian. You mentioned that. I know you're Brazilian. The Google Translate worked. It worked. I already forgotten what this is. Oh. No. 以下. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I kind of remember the mnemonic that I used, the storyboard that I used. Okay. Hmm. 在房间。对，在房间。That's not the right. Oh. 房间。房间。里。冰箱。冰箱。冰箱。冰箱。冰箱里有。有什么 ？Oops. I'm gonna say 没有 That doesn't seem right. Is it? I mean, it looks okay. 没有 没有 tie. That is 没有 ta. Honest mistake. 没有 tie. Where are we going with this? 出去 say 去 let's do 去房子房子 why 店会见会见朋友朋友Oh wait 朋友朋友朋友会见朋友 饭馆。Let's do 饭馆。饭馆。店位。饭馆店位。找，因为不找。That's fine。找。找饭馆店位。嗯。How about we do 找服务员？服务，服务，服务，服务员。定位，定位，定位。引进，引荐，引进。哎，check check。桌子，桌子，桌子和桌子和一次，一次。嗯，看，看，看英语，英文，英文，英文菜单。 Oh, I keep doing cha. What's wrong with me? Tai dan. Tai dan 一下。一下。点点菜。香。maybe 香不香？点菜。Wow, there's so much just for connecting this stuff. Okay. How do you integrate position? Oh, I could do it that way. So we could just one narrative for so long. Let's see. 菜单。菜单。在菜单在 Oops. Dang it. 菜单在桌子下。在桌子上，not 下。引进有 maybe we'll say 有 一次，有一次。So what do we got? A. Alright, alright. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Done. Sure. Uh-huh. Ding way. Okay. We pigeonholed this. Oh, it's fine. Okay. So we do kan. We don't need all the position. On the on 菜单 英文英文菜单。Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, sure. 底下 or oh, you know, instead of overlapping so much. 英文菜单英文菜单在桌子上 right 看一下请看一下像电菜电菜电菜you know, good deal. All right, the entire here. Yang 不想 Why did I write it only in the top half? That's weird. 想不想Nah, we'll just look at this. 这次我的 Oops. Lie down. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a lot for 1 unit. What are the weak spots? Probably Jin. 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 Jin is Jin is very weak. Other than that, everything else seems okay. Alright, let's give it one go. One pass. Okay. Yeah. Oh, actually, we could combine it. No, we can't. No, we'll stick. Maybe. Hmm. Okay. 冰箱里没有菜。去 Why do I even need this? Oh yeah, it's because I'm trying to pigeonhole Y instead of 出去. On 会见会见朋友. Oh. Foo. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's gross. Ooh, yeah. Uh. Hmm. I'm not sure about that one. Ding Wei. Ding Wei. Ding Jie. Yo. Yi Zi. 英文。海丹。在桌子。桌子上。OK。看一下。两不想。恋爱。Kind of doesn't make sense. You're already seated, but hey, it works. Oh, I lost track of what is new vocabulary and what is new characters and what is old character. Uh. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. 这次，这次，这次，这次。我买单，我的买单 ，no， 我买单。Is that good enough? Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I messed up thing. That makes sense. That would be that radical. Okay. I'll remember that for the next go around. It's fine. Okay. Done. Used a bunch of times. 见 引进 table. Yes. 看 Okay. 会见一下冰箱里 used a bunch. 房间请 used a lot. Okay. It implied a lot. Right. Alright. Alright, that's good. That's good. No problems outside of what I paused on. Understandable. So we'll keep that in mind. Okay. Let's do the next one. That's only one. I don't know how long I was working on that one. Okay, so this one is... I think we can use categorical. This one. So, 些 counter 些给 as loan 新鲜苹果西瓜鸡蛋改 and 包 contrast 包 and 改包蔬菜 What else we got here? Shop at the market. We got a lot of things. This one was okay. We can use categorical sorting. So 水果东西 right 东西超市帮 maybe 帮我店然后帮助我帮我帮忙 no just 帮 okay. We can group them together. Okay. E. Probably for like E-tie. E-die. Or E-bao. 一包，这 what? What is duh for? Oh, right. 这些，一些，这些，一些，这些，那些。So for some, these and those. So there's 面包想要你 is the thing 你太不太天 maybe it's like 一天 yeah okay all right so what are we going with let's say 一天去每个一天吧一天去超市超 that's not 超 that's 七oops 超市 yes I've got the okay 超市一天去超市let's lump these together okay帮anything else 想要right 想要 actions then stuff ooh okay all right想要 actually probably 新鲜that'll be after we'll lump them together as modifiers yeah just list a bunch of stuff okay so 水果。苹果。苹果。西瓜。Yes。西瓜。西瓜。东西。蔬菜。How did this work? It was... Oh no. Oh yeah. That is what it is. Okay. Right? Oh. There's actually 3 strokes down there. Utai. Utai. Me. Tea done. Here's kind of like a curl up. Tea done. Oh my word. 面包. Oh my wordy word. Mian bao. Said it. Okay. And then counters and modifiers. So, 性向 新像新鲜像新鲜新鲜不太新鲜新鲜包I don't want to talk about it. Bao and die. Die. Oh no, that's not die. That's uh, che. Che is the other thing. So we need che.一切这些那些die is it's this that. Oh no, wait, I don't think it even has a. It's just that. This, and this. I have to double check this. Yeah. Oh no, I missed the show. And oh, die is gonna need a little work. Oh, okay. The die is definitely weak. Yeah, is weak too. Made an error on Zhu. Hua. It's a stroke on Zhi and Chao Shi. Chao Shi. Let's give this a go. That is not. Okay. Okay. Ah, it's gross looking. Try again. It's okay. Okay. That's everything. You're really dropping. Kind of helps with all the framework. Okay, let's add the previous. Right, the previous. The previous is definitely tougher. Might have made it a little too long. Uh, Alright. No problems there. No problems there. Alright. Okay. So next one. Got hobby. Oh, this one organizes pretty well. So we have 为什么 and then 因为ね 所以 wait 所以oh he is所以 not even here. Oh, here it is. 所以 so these are grouped together. Yeah. Where is it? The heck? Oh. 七三雅人与 Okay. That's where the hobby thing comes in. The song Ting song Ting is missing. Oh boy. Okay, Ting song. Oh, that's gonna be a tough one. Okay. Oh, nope. King song. Jiao, yeah. Jiao xiang ji 胎教 we're gonna that's 上月 don't need those 中文学习 OK 学习中文 fair enough it says this is 度印度 印度 son of a oh no, I don't. Heck. No, I think that's the correct stroke order. So yeah. So into that's gonna be hard to remember. Do let me do 4 units today. And cross my fingers for 5 units. They really push for 5. Chi. The heck? Maybe it's Chi. Liu. Chi. Liu. Oh, Chu Chi. No. It's Chi. So Chi Liu. Maybe Chi. 西班牙旅游. Yeah, it's a combined thing, so. Ding. Xin. Oh. Xing Ai Hao. This is where Ai Hao is. And. 音乐. 音乐. Okay. We might as well just start with situational, right? Wait. Ah, you hackers. You start with the top left? Okay. So, 为什么? 为什么? Yeah. 因 因 因为 所以 所以所以所以所以性爱好性爱好性爱好性爱好 chi, so we're gonna go chi. 日旅旅旅游啊旅游啊旅游旅游去旅游西西班牙西班牙西班牙西班牙印度印度嗯嗯嗯嗯 no 嗯嗯嗯嗯啊嗯印度呃呃音乐音乐学习学习中文。That really it? Oh, 轻松and more. Oh no, we totally forgot some stuff. Um, uh, uh, 拍照，拍照，拍照，照，照相，照相，照相机，轻松，音，yes，轻松，学习。Okay. 嗯，人 与音乐。OK。拍照，拍照，拍照，相机，相机，拍照，照相机，照相机，轻松，Oh, this one's good stuff. All right. All right, let's see if we can get on our first rodeo. Okay. Wait, show. 因为哦，所以诶，新爱好，新爱好。 Is that it? I think we're good. Let's do the next one. Going back up. Yeah. Okay. You hate that you know enough Spanish to understand when I'm probably being ugly. The downfall of being semi-bilingual. What do you mean by being ugly? How are you being ugly? Where? Oh, is it your job? Did you have Spanish clientele? And you had to say something to set the record straight, kind of thing, being direct. Probably they were saying something about the deposit, then oh yeah. Okay. I see. Yep. That'll do it. That'll do it. Rainy day, rainy day. Okay. Let's do the next one. Location. But your night just started, so it can only go up, right? Positive thoughts. Negative thoughts will make things work, you know. No sense in thinking about the worst case scenario, right? When it rains, it pours. Get that out of here, right? Kick it to the bucket. When it rains, break out an umbrella. At least that's the way to go about it. One way to go about it. Hello and good night, everyone. Good night, Matthias. Good night. Oh. 我是哪国人？哦，你是哪国人？中国人还是日本人？呃，我我是美国人。我的家人是中国人。You're Paraguayan? Uh, you you don't. This is the first time we've spoken, right? Matthias, or is this the second time? I met another person from Paraguay, and they talked about the language in it, that had no, that wasn't you, right? I just by coincidentally met another person from Paraguay. Oh, okay. And you're the one that mentioned that no. Do you happen to be the one that mentioned that Guarani or the language in Paraguay can sound like Japanese? Because I took a listen. I'm not sure if it was you, but I imagine it's actually fairly rare. You're learning English and Chinese. Nice. How's that going? Yeah, I'm learning Chinese too because I'm technically American. Yeah, I remember that. I took a listen. I do agree. It kind of like switches back and forth actually. Sometimes it kind of like since I am learning Japanese at the same time and I know Spanish already, it kind of like snaps back and forth. Like it's like, I picked up some cognates from Spanish, right? Like Central American Spanish. And then suddenly like, oh yeah, I can see why it sounds like Japanese actually. So it kind of goes back and forth. Kind of a mixed feeling. Like it's kind of neat. It kind of like slips back and forth. I see what you mean. Yeah, I figured there aren't too many people from Paraguay. Like usually for every one there's like 6 or 7 Brazilians around this time zone. So around this time zone I would probably meet like at least a 5-to-1 ratio of like Brazilians to anyone else. So I figured it might have been you. Yeah, I took a listen. It's a beautiful sounding language, by the way. Do you speak that? Is that your mother tongue while you're learning English and Chinese? Oh, okay. I see. Spanish and Guarani. Yeah. Um, I've yet. Yeah, it's gonna be a while till I tackle Spanish, but I think the Paraguayan language is very, very nice sounding. It's kind of very a smooth thing. It almost seems like there has been this. I don't know if you. I know you're learning English and Chinese. Um, However, there's this thing that about South American languages. A lot of South American languages lean very well to Japanese. So it's not, while it's not a surprise, at the same time, it kind of makes sense. It's gonna make sense that there's a bridge between the phonetics between Japanese and lots of South American languages. Makes you think. Makes you think about the relationship between them. Like Spanish speakers as well as Brazilians, Portuguese, actually, specifically. And then suddenly it goes over to like Sweden, Sweden and Norway and stuff, which also have something um, relational to Japanese that makes it very familiar. Chinese, on the other hand, not so much. And you're just learning English because I think it's a very important language. You can have more opportunities if you speak English. It is a very pragmatic choice. Yeah, having English is a great tool, right? It's a great tool. It's a nice backup for a lot of things. I agree, from a purely opportunity standpoint. Although I do have to admit, um, the language, Guarani is a very pretty language. Nice sounding. It's very smooth. I would say it's very smooth. It kind of reminds me of Fujonese, actually. Like Fujonese is very blunted. It's very smooth sounding. Not like not as angsty and guttural and whatnot. Less guttural. I'm sure you kind of gotten used to hearing the somewhat nasally quality of standard Chinese Mandarin. Slightly nasally. Yeah, there are some videos on TikTok where they explain the similarities with Japanese and sometimes with Korean. I see. Also, they have similar sounds. Yeah. Yep. I've seen quite a lot of them too. I actually think Spanish was more helped me a lot with. I don't follow, like, I still have to revisit Spanish, but the way vowels and stuff are said and whatnot kind of leans a lot towards the Japanese thing. I made mention about that. While I might not have spoken Spanish in quite some time, I listen to Spanish quite a lot. So it kind of helps with the ear training. It's not like it's more than having like nothing, right? It's more than being monolingual in English. Chinese is because my mother tongue is Fujianese. Lots of the structure and stuff becomes very intuitive right off the bat. So how are your studies going and how are you today? You're good? Okay. I didn't practice today because I was busy, but I was talking with ChatGPT. Oh, how's that going? Is that I've heard and seen a lot of demonstrations. I have yet to get to that stage in my plans at the moment. However, I am looking forward to using LLM stuff. You really like Chinese? Just is very difficult to remember the Hanzi of every word. I can imagine. That's kind of why I'm writing quite a lot. Bear with ya. I think right now, oops. I think right now I'm about at like 500, something like that. 500-ish. Oops. Your level is just HSK1. You're starting with HSK2. Okay. When you make a sentence with the words that you learn, I'm so excited. Me too. Me too. I actually get excited when I can read without having to look up something. Sometimes I just get excited that I know what the sound is, as opposed to if I know enough characters, I know the sounds, so I would read it. But even if I don't understand what the sounds are, what the word is when the sounds are put together, it's just kind of nice to be able to read it out loud. Since, you know, I stream most of the time, so when someone types something and I can just read it, whatever it is, I can just read the sounds and stuff and not even know the words yet. That's always kind of really exciting as well. And Chinese have a Chinese, which is a lot different from Japanese. Chinese have that nice feeling. When you get the meaning, it's like, yeah, true. There's also some fun stuff, like when you don't know the word yet, but you knew the characters enough to guess what the word means. That's also really exciting too. Every time someone like tries a different word, it's an opportunity to guess what the word is, and that's really, really fun. I get really excited about that. Yeah, I think as far as I know, learning Japanese and Chinese combined, I think maybe between the two of them, we have about like 700 to 800 unique characters that we can use to like guess what the meaning of the characters are. A fun puzzle game every time. Do I never get confused with both languages? You mean the characters? Um, I I guess confused wouldn't be the word I would use. They tend to help with understanding both the languages. So I think one thing that it kind of makes sense that there's a chance you might be able to confuse them. However, it turns out that Japanese and Chinese are substantially different enough that you can use the differences and the similarities to remind yourself of what each one means. So like they're different enough that it actually is kind of difficult to confuse them. And they're similar enough that most of the time it helps you remember them rather than making it harder. At least for myself. But I am, to be clear, I am a stickler for details. So I kind of like that thing. I kind of like that. Like, for example, there are identical things. Like Kankoku. Kankoku and Hanguo are the same characters more or less, with except for one simplified character. However, when I read them, it's difficult to mix them up because when you have a sentence out, you're gonna either know it's Japanese or Chinese. Oftentimes, it's very it's very difficult to be in a situation where you would be able to confuse them too much. Instead of saying I'm confused by like context listing, like for example, is this ren or is this ren or is this ito, right? It's both. So as opposed to like, so I would say I'm never confused because I don't forget both. So I know both and I choose which one it is. So I don't have trouble remembering either of them, and that's when no confusion happens. It can be confusing. I think when people talk about confusing is when they have trouble remembering. Like, I don't know the Japanese thing. Is it hito? But all you can think about is ren, right? Ren. To me, since I spend most of my time trying not to forget these things, it's both ren and hito. When I read this character, I read it in both the languages. And I think that's kind of the point that I make all the time when it comes to learning a second language. I don't stop translating in my head. I that's not something I do. So I feel, in my opinion, when one is confused, is that they only want to think in one language. Only think in one language. So even if I one day say like, I don't know, a good example would be, let's just use this. Names are really good. Names are really good. So let's say I wrote this, right? So Hanguo, like Hanguoren, right? Koreans or South Koreans. Hanguoren. If I read this as Kankokujin, that's perfectly fine to me. So if I suddenly spoke Chinese in the middle of Japanese, it's not that I'm confused, it's whichever is obviously it might confuse other people, and that's perfectly fine because I'll be able to like go back and explain it, right? And if I'm writing the characters, there's only one way to write the character. So that's why I spend a lot of time writing. You don't typically get them mixed up because the characters themselves stay the same. Outside the simplified character. This here is a simplified character. For for this. Here, this is the character in Japanese. And simplified Chinese uses that character. They're both the same. And when I see simplified characters, I see both of them if it occurs in Japanese. So every time I see like for example, go or yi, right? Yi, you see this. But I also, when I see this character, I see this as well. So this is go. And this is traditional. So go. I don't think I can read the like traditional Chinese characters per se. I could guess at them. Because Japanese uses traditional character. So what I mean is, if it looks like a Japanese character and it's not a character that I know in simplified Chinese, then it is probably the traditional character, and or a Japanese variant. There are characters that are Japanese variances that don't exist in Chinese. However, it's close enough that you can probably get the meaning. So the idea for confusion oftentimes is there are things you don't want to remember or things you have forgotten. So most of the time, my goal is I focus on remembering everything as opposed to forgetting one and being frustrated by it. So there's no interference. Like two memories aren't interfering with each other. Like, oh, I look at this character, like, what's a good character here? Oh, like this character right here. This is part of ryori in cuisine. But in this case, this is liao, as in drink, part of drink. So, 饮料. However, ryori is food, is cuisine, which also has something to do with beverages. So, they reinforce each other. So when I see this character and when I'm learning Chinese, like right now when I'm writing this, I'm thinking in Japanese. I'm not but I'm speaking in English. So whenever I'm reading a character, if I know the Japanese character, I also think about the Japanese at the same time. So whenever I learn a character in Chinese, it's helping me with my Japanese memory. And whenever I'm learning Japanese, it's helping me with Chinese memory. In fact, half the new kanji characters that I learn, if they overlap with Chinese, they're easier to remember because I know the Chinese character already. They don't have to have the same meaning. They can have different meanings. If they're different, it's actually fairly easy to remember. If they're the same, it's also easy to remember. As long when you start establishing the relationship between them, that's when, because they're the same character, something is always going to be the same or similar to relate them. It can be many things. It can be meaning. It can be the character itself, like what it looks like, or even what it sounds like. So a lot of times, like I would teach my parents or talk to other people about how to pronounce certain words by using other languages to do it, right? Like the relationship between sound is also useful. So both characters can be represented by sound, right? Sound, listening, and the higher level, which is meaning. A lot of times people get used to relying solely on meaning. However, you can rely on patterns too, like character patterns, sounds, which is what I've been doing for quite a long time in my life. And video games. Video games do that all the time. So video games may teach you things without needing a written language or a sounding language. You can observe patterns and whatnot. So that's kind of what this does. It's helping me acquire it a lot quicker. So I think my Japanese have gotten faster because I'm learning Chinese. And I wouldn't be surprised if I feel the same way with Spanish. Largely, I like learning things as and continuing to overlap them. Yeah. If any of that makes sense. I don't think it's for everyone. The way I'm doing things, I don't think it's for everyone. The idea is I can at least attempt to explain how I'm doing things, and maybe you come up with your own version that helps you remember things. Yeah. The things that are really different though, that's when it gets fun, when you try to connect them. Okay. Alright, so let's work on this next set. And I think I'm gonna stop on this fourth set to talk about health. Yeah, where was it? Oh yeah, I forgot the last point I make. I largely focus on using all my languages. So this is an important point that I like to make. It's gonna slow you down. Yes, I know it's gonna slow you down. However, I don't want to dispense with any of my language. So when people talk about like, yeah, translation, constantly translating in your head will slow you down. I agree. Translating in your head constantly slows you down. However, my goal is not to exclusively think in one language. So at some point, the translation gets to a point where it's sufficient to use translation in your head to like use another language. So my usual comfort zone is if I'm translating quick enough, it's great. And at some point, actually, it becomes to a point where it might actually, you do less translating, you start cutting corners. And at some point when you cut corners, you might end up thinking and coach swapping without really considering that it's translation. So for me, when people keep criticizing things like Duolingo and like old school methods on constantly using a bridging language like your native language to learn a target language, and that the fastest way is to immerse yourself in the target language, right? So it forces you to learn the target language. I agree that a lot of people can benefit from being forced to use the target language. I'm not actually that extraordinary or special. I think there are a lot of people that are very similar to me who have no problems segregating and negotiating using our native language and our target language at the same time. I'm not required to force myself to use a language. I'm genuinely interested in using the target language, and I use my native language as a facilitator. So whenever I say the word cup, bay, cup, bay, right? Kapu. And like it encourages me to use it, right? So that is different from someone who uses a native language and stop thinking about how to relate it to the target language. So when you're immersed in it, you don't have a choice. Or you try not to have a choice. You still have a choice, really. Like when you're watching anime without subtitles, if you're processing your thoughts in the native language and you're upset about it, and you don't want to think about wasting time and effort doing your target language, it's better than having the native language there, because it encourages you to not want to learn the target language. For me, on the other hand, it's hard not to want to learn the target language with or without the native language being there. Like right now, I think most of the time when I'm doing Chinese, I'm actually thinking in Japanese, not in English. It's more convenient actually to combine Japanese, Chinese. And when I'm doing Japanese, I'm more inclined to think of the characters in Chinese instead of English. It happens to be more convenient and interesting. And for the record, I actually think translating Japanese and Chinese is super interesting because it teaches me a lot about my English, my understanding of English. I would love to be able to explain English and Japanese to my parents, or like the connection between English and Chinese and Japanese. So all this stuff is very important to me. The difference when it comes to immersion is that certain things are not important and certain things are important. And to me, English, the connection with English is important. Translation and interpretation is very important to me. Lots of people learn the target language, in my opinion, because they don't care enough. Not that it's a bad or good thing. They don't care enough to think that English and developing English is any more important. Like their English is well developed. There's no need to understand the relationship between the target language and the language you're most comfortable in. For me, it's super interesting. It allows a new dimension of English. In fact, I read Japanese with an English structure, and I also read English with a Japanese structure, and I also read English with a Chinese structure now, and that means they're getting closer together. Like it is, one can read and be able to understand. Like for example, here's a fun example. When you have songs like Chinese songs and Japanese songs, and then they suddenly like put some English words into their songs, and how the English words are organized typically, you can kind of get the feeling why they chose to organize those words like that. So there's some like very interesting intuition that you gather over time. Like there's no problems, saying like, Japanese, right? Japanese 2 study I did, right? Japanese 2 I study I did, which is the structure for Nihongo o benkyou shimashita, right? So not a problem. And English will still kind of be flexible, and actually it's a fun test in my opinion. If you mix up if you speak your native language and you swapped it to a different structure, I think when you learn a different language and that language has a different structure, you'd be surprised how well the languages you already know can be rearranged in your target language like structure, and it'll still be fine. It'll still be intelligible because you navigate that already. So that's kind of a neat thing that I like talking to other language learners about or mess around with. Oh there, Falcon. Okay, let me get this sorted out in my head. Okay, so 工作. 工作, we're talking about health. Oh, I had a mnemonic for this one too. I had a mnemonic for all of them following certain unit. So 工作. 工作. 胖. Okay. 开始 I sure. Do I take notes while learning? Sort of. This is me taking notes. My notes are in real time. I make I do the notes by outputting. Most of the time. If you're talking about like the learning process, yeah. Well, while I'm learning, I'm quite literally doing the notes right now. I rewrite the notes every time. Might be a slow process, however, but I rewrite the notes every time. My output are my notes. I'll be here very often. I need to sleep because it's so late. Yeah, good night, Matthias. Good night. Thanks for chatting. Thank you for the question. Love answering. Good luck with everything. Till next time. Bonjour. I Duo does a perfectly adequate job on noting all the things. 晚安，晚安，Matthias. I think most of these SRS things actually provide more notes than I would actually typically take on my own. 工作旁 This is 开始开始整体整体注意注意注意 I think we're missing this character, right? Yes. So 健康的健康 anything that's on part of the stream, like on a YouTube video or something, all of the if there's any notes, that's all the notes that I take. I don't take any other notes outside of what's on stream. When the stream goes off, I'm outputting. I'm practicing. So I haven't taken any additional notes. And I don't have any permanent notes. So like I don't have like a book of notes or anything. I write them over and over as I'm going. So my output is the writing. It is something I don't usually do though. I do take notes learning other things. However, in the target language, I decided to take a different approach in terms of language learning. This is the first time I've ever self-studied language. The other times I've studied language was back in college and high school for Spanish. And for Spanish in high school, I did take notes. This time, I'm doing a different approach where whatever the tool is, this is plenty of enough notes. The only other way I'm going to be able to understand the language is to use the language as much as I can, whether it's writing, speaking, or thinking about it. So I have not taken notes outside, like any type of form of written note, outside what tools provide for me. So this is the pretty much as much notes as I would say. I would read something and that's it. I either remember it or I don't remember it. That's about it. So if I needed to learn something about grammar, for example, and on Duolingo, there's an exercise and I have no idea what that. I'm like, I don't understand why it's structured this way. I go on like a grammar site, look at it, read it, and that's it. If I don't remember the next time, I go back and read it. If I don't remember it, I go back and read it, and that's it. And everything else, any type of written thing, I write in the target language to remember it, and then I erase everything. I don't save any of this stuff. It obligates me to write it again and again and again and think about it in a different way every time as I go through it. My thought process behind doing this is that language is it's on the lowest level of learning, so writing notes is like using the language itself. So for my take on this is that I will either write the thoughts out in the target language when I need it, or don't write the notes at all. So that's kind of how I'm going about it here. It's an experiment. It's an experiment for myself. Let's see. Shanghai. Wait. Really? Oh yeah, because they're gonna talk about food. Shanghai. So Shanghai, Thai. Ooh. 锻炼 is tough. I have a habit of forgetting 锻炼. Okay. How about you, by the way, Falcon? Are you learning Chinese or Japanese? Are you language learning right now? Zhu Yang. Zhu Rou, Yang Rou. Yeah. 饮料. This is probably 觉得. Yeah, 觉 is missing here. So 觉 is so 觉得 who what? Boo something. What do you guys want to use boo for? Oh, 不忙. Oh, okay. 不健康. Okay. 不忙? Where the heck is 忙 at? No 忙 still. Yeah, sure. If you want to use 忙, it's fine. So 不忙 and 不健康. Choice 还是 which we linked with the food. 还是 面条. It's fine. 日本菜，韩国菜，中国菜，英国菜，米饭 fair enough. 北京菜，鸡肉 oops 鸡肉，牛肉。Alright, let's rekindle our mnemonic. So how do we start? Talk about health first. Let's do with yeah, I remember this. Better. Don't forget lay as well. Lay is not listed. Lay is I think. That looks right. It feels right. Is it correct? It is correct. It feels right. Okay. So we have lay. So 觉得累. Oops. Pang. Pang. 觉得累，觉得胖。注意 we're gonna go with 注意。注意，忙不忙？忙不忙？工作。Oops. One extra stroke. 工作。生。Oops. That's way too long. Try that again. 身体，身体，身体健康。健康。Okay. Then we went to food, right? Shanghai, Thai. Shanghai, Thai. Beijing, Beijing, Thai. Japan, Thai. Hong Kong. Trung英国。Oh, I missed one. 开市。开市。Oh, sure is gonna be tough. 开市锻炼。锻炼。锻炼。锻炼。Alien is fire. And modify 东西。锻炼。这个还是对。we had food items, so 面条。 面条，面条，米饭，米饭，choices，肉，肉，牛肉，羊肉，I'm gonna get, gotta be a cleaner way of doing this. 鸡肉，猪，猪，猪肉。Okay, there are definitely some rough spots in there. It's gonna be our last set for the day. Choose a problem and 锻炼，开始 as well. 锻炼 actually just one. Okay, let's give this a go. Okay, all right. How should I organize this so take up less space? Uh, hmm. Ugh. Okay. All right. Everything that unit. Hobbies. There, Nuvis. Is the app worth it? You're currently learning Chinese as well. The app worth it? Well, it's worth $0. So, sky's the limit, right? What are you currently doing to learn Chinese, Nuvis? Perhaps, some context. I could provide some context depending on what you're learning and how you prefer to learn things. Yeah, in terms of investment, I haven't invested anything in the app other than getting free knowledge from it. You watch a lot of videos? That's pretty good. How are you keeping account? How are you keeping yourself accountable for what you learn at the moment? You have a way of assessing how you're learning Chinese? Like maybe like every 3 months or so? Like every 3 months or half a year? How are you going about measuring, obligating yourself to taking in the information? Oh, okay. Do you have a friend to talk to or someone that can, like, do you have anything that actively is giving you feedback? If there isn't anything that's giving you active feedback, like if you don't have like zero, let's just say zero active feedback, there's $0 to use Duolingo to provide you with some feedback. So if your starting position, you have zero feedback whatsoever about if you're like taking in your target language, um, Duolingo is a zero place to start. There are other choices as well. You can try them out. Actually, I'm not sure about Chinese. I don't know exactly a lot about Chinese, but oh yeah, HSK books work. If you have resources, uh, some people like Hanzi Hero as well. That's kind of a nice thing as well. So, what so if you're asking me if the app is worth it, if you have no feedback whatsoever, any app is worth until it becomes boring. Some sort of active feedback is generally more than no active feedback whatsoever. The thing I like to encourage most of the time is find something that you like to get feedback from first, right? And then build from there. So something that you find, oh, I like the way this is telling me how far my progress is and how giving me ideas on if I remember things. So you got to pick out swim around and find what, try out a few things here and there and see what sticks. It's probably my thought about it. As far as Duolingo goes, um, it is probably the least stringent form of obligation. So what I mean by that is there is the least amount of obligation that is placed on you. So that what that means is it's very, very easy to use Duolingo, like super easy. However, because it is very, very casual forward, it does not help you. It does not tell you, hey, you should remember this stuff. It's like they can only remind you like, hey, do your lessons and hope for the best. While if you bought a book set or something, you're invested. You've already invested in something. So finding something that obligates you, even if it costs nothing, right? I like using Duolingo because it costs nothing. And most of the time, where does all that extra money go? It's all the time I spent obligating myself to learning these. But like right now, today, I didn't actually use Duolingo itself. I used the information that Duolingo has, and I'm writing. I spent most of the time writing and constructing ideas for my memory things. I'm making myself responsible for the information. Duolingo can nag at you, like give you an email notification, but when you're doing the lessons, it's really up to you if you remember any of it. And they don't necessarily provide a lot, because the more they provide, the harder and more overwhelming it'll look. So if you find that textbooks work for you, right? If you're already thinking about it, you're already thinking, I should go to a textbook, then odds are Duolingo is not going to be worth it for you. If you feel like textbooks are the way to go, because textbooks are far more denser than Duolingo. And that's kind of how I would take it from all the information that you're saying. Other people say like, textbooks are so boring. Then you would ask them like, hey, how do you engage yourself? Say, well, I like games. I like doing things in very, very short sessions, and I'm not too concerned about remembering everything, just like one or two things every day. And Duolingo might match. That's probably how we would go about it. But if you're already considering textbooks, that's probably the way to go. Duolingo is too light. It's far too light compared to a textbook. Yeah. Sounds like you might have sounds like you already might have your own answer. Hey. And you can always like freshen up with Chinese. You can follow along if you want. You're more than welcome to ask yourself if you recognize any of these characters that I have written down. You know, every once in a while, come by, see if you recognize any of the characters, and then you pretty much have the Duolingo experience then. Duolingo is focused on exposure, but not so much SRS. There's kind of a rudimentary SRS system in it. Let's see. Where are we? Taking picture. Camera. How's your Chinese? That's what has been the problem, is remembering the stuff I learned, like characters or pinyin. I see. Um, how long have you been like exploring how you're remembering the characters or pinyin? I can give you an anecdote, like what I have been doing. Me personally, for myself, and this is not offered as like professional advice. For me, writing is my go-to. I write and organize all the information. So right now, it looks like there's arbitrary spaces and columns and stuff, but this is all organized in my head. So this is like a map of a paragraph worth of relations between the vocabulary words, and that's kind of how I go about it. So there are like plus signs and random diagonals. This is my shorthand of representing all the information. Any more space? Yep. All right. 2 more units. I'll call it a day after that. What's next? Market. I think a lot of times, I mentioned this quite a bit in like my review sessions and whatnot. If you're like completely in the dark on how to like maybe try to engage your memory, especially in the target language, make it about the things that you like. So start with things that you know you're good at remembering, or you don't really try that hard, or you do try hard, but it's less effort to remember. And then use your target language and bind, in my opinion, try to be as creative as possible to bind your language, your target language, to that thing. And that creates a sentimental link. It creates an emotional link to the meaning and the idea. So if you're able to do that, then you can probably start from there and leverage whatever you're doing to make it look like, to make it encouraging to learn using the target language. So then when you're doing your favorite things, like, I don't know, playing a video game or playing basketball, you start, you are encouraged to use your target language in that. I like writing, so I do writing, and I like story creating and creating associations between things. So I do that in the target language. You usually write down in pinyin, since I haven't learned to write characters. Okay. And now you're comfortable with pinyin, right? So if you're comfortable with pinyin, I probably would encourage a fun way to link pinyin with the characters. I actually started with that. That was my first thing. Like right now, I don't write the pinyin anymore, but I can see the pinyin in all of these characters. So I didn't like stop all of a sudden, or I choose when I do, but it's not like I can't write the pinyin for these things. So I still practice. Sorry, I got something in my throat. So I still write, or I still think of the pinyin because I want to keep the pinyin on hand. right? So like this is non, right? This is non. This is Joel. Whoops. Joel. This is Nin. Nin. Chu. Chu. Right? T. Actually, it might be T, depending on. I'm gonna go with T. And this is men. So you can still think of it that way. And the idea is you start with what you know. And you're used to pinyin, so baby steps. Take your pinyin and connect to 1 or 2 characters every day, and you don't have to write the character if you don't want to. A lot of people actually opt out from writing characters, but you'll get used to seeing the pinyin whenever it's next to a character, possibly. Or additionally, you could say the sound, and at some point you can go about doing it that way as well. Increasing the amount of level of input and output as many ways as possible that you feel that doesn't take too much, like feel a little natural at first and whatnot. It can go a long way, right? I guess I don't have to tell you, even if you remember 1 character a day, you should be proud of that, or you should feel great about that. 1 character a day in 1 year, that's 365 characters. That is a lot of characters. Oh yeah. Right now, I guess I'm at 103 days. I think for Chinese, I'm about at 500 characters, something like that. Not too bad. When you start thinking about it in a big day, right? That's like 4 characters that's 4 characters a day. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Right? And then come back and tell me how many characters you recognize on the screen. You know? I love to hear when people share with me stories about their relationships with these characters. The more you share, the more likely you'll remember the characters too. Yeah, feel free to talk about the things you learn as well. Or complain. Feel free to complain about something. As long as you're not like constantly emotionally distraught, things that you complain about, if they're very focused complaining or very focused frustrations or focused happiness, those memories are incredibly strong, and then eventually you won't even need them. You recognize like at least 6 or so I see there. Nice. Did you ever do you type at all using your pinyin? I think you can use your pinyin to test which characters come up. So since you already know how to write down pinyin, I think that would be a fun little game you can play with yourself. That sounded a little weird out of context, but what I mean is, like, if you ever sit in someone's stream and you're like, okay, I'm gonna bring up a Word document, right? You can open up a notepad and you can just type with the Windows IME and just type, or whatever operating system you have. You type it, it's like, yes, that pinyin matches that character. Shi and de There you go. Sure duh. What do you think? What do they mean to you? Yeah, like that. That's cool. And you don't have to like type it. You could also like copy paste and stuff. But I'd probably say if you already like writing down pinyin, just use your keyboard and then guess the characters and type on like a random notepad or something and see if like, oh, I guessed that character. I guessed that character. And eventually I think it'll build up on its own. And that's progress. Oh, you just changed to this last week. Well, there you go. I think you're on your way already. In my opinion, I think you're already on your way to getting the rhythm of how you want to take in your characters. I stream most of the time when I'm learning, so I don't usually use my keyboard too often. At some point though, later down the road when I'm like finished with Duolingo, when I like matriculate out of Duolingo, you'll probably come back if you ever like 6 months from now or something. You'll probably see me typing prompts to an LLM of some sort in like Chinese and stuff, and I'll start to develop my typing skill, something like that. Outside of writing, currently I enjoy writing, so I spend most of my time writing. It's more or less your opinion and your typing method. But yeah, give that a go, right? 去超市。Also, by the way, if you can make a friend or someone that you just see on chat and stuff, that's always a gold standard. Or having someone that engages you or are willing to listen or throw back and forth comments, that's always kind of nice. Unfortunately, I don't have a deference. I think generally people liked Hello Talk. So when it comes to Chinese, I think Hello Talk is a very common one for a space for that. Sometimes it's a little bit more. There are WeChat communities for Mandarin, but I think Hello Talk is is one that comes up a lot of people who want to like even exchange language. So since you obviously know English, you might be able to find a conversation partner on Hello Talk for Chinese. And then WeChat is like maybe at some point when you're really comfortable, a lot of Chinese speakers tend to rely on WeChat and whatnot. So you might be able to find people there. But Hello Talk is definitely one that comes up a lot. Might be able to find like a conversational partner. Oh, you tried it. Okay, but you just hate being on your phone. Oh, that's fair enough. You know what you want. So if the phone is not working for you, yeah, those things require you to be on your phone. Yeah, that's not the way to go. There's VR chat. I was told, this is not my personal experience. I don't, obviously I spend most of my time on my stream, but VR chat is also something. And one of the downsides of VR chat is probably the age group and the type of people you might encounter. However, VR chat has quite a space for language exchange to some extent if you want to be in front of your computer as opposed to your phone. This is from other people's experiences. I don't have any experience. Unfortunately, I can't give you any firsthand experience from using any of those. WeChat is good. You can use it on PC. Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. The one time I used WeChat was pretty much coincidentally was when I was chatting with someone who spoke more Chinese than English, and that was more like a relationship kind of related thing. Okay, let's see. Oops. Mileage might vary, but whatever you see me writing on screen is it's from Duolingo. So like whatever is being written on screen, it comes from Duolingo. Whether people remember it or not is definitely up to the user. But this is what I remember from Duolingo. I'm basically summarizing these 4 units right here from memory. That's a little steep. I don't like the way that looks. That looks a little bit better. Oh, wait. Hang on. I think I forgot something. It was up here. Yeah, it's饮料. Yeah, 饮料. I didn't think of that word, one word a day, until you said it. That's pretty inspiring, actually. One word a day. One word a day. I think it's tough. Like, I think it's tough when it's hard to visualize the day to day to get to a goal, right? So if you, lots of people, I know you don't strike me. I feel like you strike me as someone who likes to go with the flow. So that's kind of working to your advantage here on what I'm saying. Um, Lots of people do like far off goals. They talk about like, oh, I want to be HSK 3 in like 1 year. However, their plans up to that is often like obscured. Like they hope that they keep doing certain things and it gets to that point at some point, right? Alternatively, if you're someone who likes to focus on the day to day, knowing that you can consistently do something, so you're gonna assume you can consistently do something. Like if you like that perspective, I am a person who's about consistency. So if I already know that I don't need additional motivation, I'm not going to hit any gaps on being consistent, I take my goal or whatever it is, and ask myself, what can I do every single day? And how long would it take in that projection? So and then you can modify it for that, right? So if your goal was 2,000 words, or like say the common, it's actually like 1,300 characters, 13 to 1,500 characters. If your goal is 1,300 to 1,500 characters, ask yourself, what's a reasonable amount of time you think that feels like? Say a year. So you take 365 days, divide it by that number, and ask yourself, is that reasonable to learn? And then you start saying, well, not so much, and then you continue to find and or tell it just enough to get you started doing it, because you don't want to over analyze and then just spend all the time planning, because without a doubt your plans will improve as you're going. If you're someone who likes to go with the flow and kind of play it by ear kind of thing, as you like 1 month in, your plans are kind of going to shift. It's going to change. And if you're actively motivated, it's going to improve over time, as opposed to someone who plans something like 2 years down the road and they just stick to the plan. They're like that type of thing. So that's kind of something you want to take into consideration. I think a lot of times the vast majority of people who tell me or like talk to me about what they do the strict planned kind of thing. So they don't expect themselves to change their mind, or as they're learning more, to change up their approach. For me, since all these days are recorded, you'll probably notice that what I do has changed roughly every like 3 or 4 weeks. Something else is being added, something else is being swapped out. So my engagement becomes more and more informed. It becomes more and more developed. This is not what I did when I first started. I did not start doing this at all. And I'm aiming to constantly doing more. But not all at once. So when someone tells me, oh, they started with the perfect method, or they started with the perfect tool, and they place all their hopes on it, and then they tell me they're bored and they kind of grown out of it or burn out of it, then that's the type of thing that I'm talking about. Here, I won't ever really demonstrate that. I don't ever expect that the thing I started with is the thing I stop or end. So the idea is, find something that gets you started, and and you got to trust yourself to be invested. That's that thing that you started. It has to be something that captivates you, something that excites you. Because over time, in my opinion, as long as you remain excited, in my opinion, the bottom line, you remain motivated and excited, you yourself will naturally be creative enough to take the new experience you have and build on it. So by the time you get to that finish line is going to be so somewhere else, right? So find something really, really exciting. I think one word a day is very conservative. And one day, after a month, you're like, nah, 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 nah. One word a day, nah. 2 words a day. Let's up our game. And then you might have days where like, oh, I'm gonna go 5 words a day, and you suddenly found out, okay, that's a little too much. Then you can take a step back. It's always going to be, in my opinion, almost all the time, it's always going to be at least 2 steps forward and 1 step back. When it happens, right? As long as you're taking your steps properly. Not like the first time gym goer that goes in and tries to break their like one rep max in all of a sudden and come back home feeling like a train wreck and not going back to gym for 2 weeks and then not starting again, that kind of thing. Slow and steady. At least that's my personal approach. Language learning is a life skill, right? It's kind of like exercising. Life skill. So no need to be very urgent or hustled along in the process. You gotta enjoy it. Gotta be sustainable. I otherwise would have probably stopped by now. But now I'm learning both Japanese and Chinese on a regular basis for like 8 hours a day. Not really 8 hours a day, it's more like 6 hours a day. Okay, so mianbao. Yeah. Oh, right. And in case you want some sort of affirmation or something, learn the character or the word and tell me about how, like, feel free to stop on, like, make it a priority for you to like write something down and tell me about how you feel about the character. That's perfectly fine. I'm always here, or I'm largely almost always here within the last like 9 hours. So if you ever want someone to respond or acknowledge that you've done something, I'm always here. That's kind of why I decided to stream learning something. I think a lot of times having someone say good job or share some thoughts and whatnot, it makes the learning process a lot more engaging and interesting. Studying alone can be very lonely, so goes without saying. I do have like maybe like 6 or 7 people that we all have this like romantic idea that in 2 or 3 years you're probably gonna see us like chat in 3 different languages, like cut and spliced all over the place. So that's kind of our vision for the future, like talking like half English, half Chinese, and half Japanese, and tossing around. So hey, if you want to mark that on your calendar, it'll probably happen, hopefully, at least for myself. I'm a hybrid language speaker, so I'm not a stranger to speaking more than one language simultaneously. It'll be fun. I still have a 3rd language to introduce soon. No stringent requirements here. If you want to use English and suddenly drop in a Chinese word in the middle of it, you're using your target language. It might in my opinion. And if it's understandable to more than one person, then you are using it in a proactive way, right? Like I speak Jungwen, right? It's fine. Perfectly fine when you know what I'm saying. Okay. Uh, ugh. Let's rewrite that. Proportionally disagreeable. That's okay. One last thing. One last section for the day. Right. Was a little too fat. Oh. Fine. That wobble. Oops. Ugh. Too tight. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's double check everything. Okay. Okay, good to go. Good to go. Good to go. Yep. Oh, good to go. All right. That's it for today. Tomorrow I'm going to try to squeeze in the 5 units we have. And then we're going to do our big review, our 100-day review, or 50, number 150 from that last time. Review on day 105. Alright, that's a wrap for me today. Got a bunch of things. Yeah, the Chinese side of things is like 2 or 3 times the volume. Our review session's pretty long. On day 105. Looking forward to it. And then I'll try to make it a little different from our Japanese 200 day. Maybe talk a little bit more about it. The schedule is the same, so like the structure. So we'll review how the study structure works, I suppose, as well. And future plans. I definitely see a few Chinese games out there that are like small indie games that I kind of want to play. It's really tempting. However, we'll hold off until like the fall sale. Alright folks, there you have it. End of day 103. Chilling, thanks for hanging out. Take home message. Yeah, take home message. Still gotta, you know, stick to the old mantra. Start by assessing what you know and what you do, right? What you already know how to do and what you can flex to. And then work on providing some perspective on how to remain consistent, right? And if all else fails, in my opinion, having 1 or 2 people with a common interest, perhaps being able to resonate with them, right? There are lots of people out there who openly express how they like things and express things. Finding an expressive person who expresses things that you're very interested in or can resonate with, it's a great way to find a outside source of motivation and engagement. Sometimes if you feel like you have doubts about your own motivation and source of inspiration, having contact with another person, hey, who knows, it might lead to more of a relationship than you think. And that's always kind of nice, right? Kind of nice. Other than that, you know, get some perspective, write down what works, where you can go from there. That's always kind of a nice place to start. Until next time, if you're gonna watch this later, 谢谢. And until then, 再见. So stay safe, stay healthy. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.